In this video, we'll be looking at the CSS units and their differences. CSS has a bunch of units that we can work with. We can divide CSS units into two types. There are absolute units and relative units. Firstly, absolute units. Here is all of the absolute units in CSS. As the name says, they are fixed in size. When we set a size with these units, they are fixed size. If we set a paragraph element size with pixels, it will be same size across all screens. This is a bad practice. Why? As you may know, screens come in different sizes. So when you hardcode something, you only do it according to your screen. It only looks on your screen. When you take that project and open it on, for example, on a mobile screen, all of this stuff on the screen gets together and creates a chaos on the screen. You don't need to switch devices to experience this. Someone could still be using those old 4x3 monitors, or they could be using an ultra-wide monitor. So when you set everything's size with fixed sizes, they may look good or normal on your screen, but they'll be creating complete chaos on other screens. So that's why using absolute units are not advised. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't use them. I still use them, but I use them when I know that I want that thing to look the same on across all screens. It's best to be careful when using absolute units. Here are absolute units and their conversions between them. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters, and the conversion goes on like that. Most used absolute unit will be the pixel unit. And now we have relative units. I added the viewport units here as well, so we'll go through them in one. Relative units are sized relatively to another size property. Here are the relative units. Firstly, let's talk about EM and REM. These are relative to the default font size. EM is relative to parent container's font size, and REM is relative to root element's font size. In most browsers, the default font size is 16 pixels. So when you're setting your sizes with these units, you may want to remember that. So when you set a size with the EM unit, it multiplies the default font size value. So when you set a paragraph element size to be 3 EM, it multiplies the 16 pixels value, which is the default font size in most browsers, with 3, which is the value we set our EM unit to be. And our paragraph element size becomes 48 pixels. But in the end, most of the time, different divs have different pixel sizes set to them. So that makes our content's proportions look bad and creates a bad look. In that case, REM unit comes in. This is probably my most used unit. REM unit is relative to our site's root tag, which is our HTML tag. So with REM, we can make sure that all of our sizes are consistent across all of our page. Because by default, font size is 16 pixels in most browsers. And if you don't change that in your root tag, our unit size is relative to 16. And even if you set different font sizes for different divs, it doesn't matter because our REM unit is relative to our HTML tag's font size. With this way, we can achieve a good looking and consistent sizes across our website. Now we have viewport units. These are better because they can change according to the size you're on. They can shrink and they can grow according to the screen or device you are viewing the content in. They are relative to the viewport. View width is relative to the width of the viewport, and view height is relative to the height of the viewport. So what is the viewport? As the name suggests, viewport is our browser's window size. So when we set something with view width, let's say 60, it'll take 60% of our screen's width, and same with view height. When we set it to 60, it'll take 60% of our screen's height. That was all for this video. If you liked the video, please like, comment and subscribe for more videos like this one.